87.7 FM, and today we have an esteemed guest here coming to the studio. We haven't seen him for 2 years, I think. Last time we saw him was about 3 years ago, before the pandemic, right? So I'd like to introduce you all. Don't all jump at once. We've got the John Ashworth, the Right Honourable John Ashworth, the Shadow Home Secretary. Is that right title?
Assalamu alaikum. What a pleasure to be here on Ramadan Radio with you again, Zed. I am now the Shadow Work and Pensions Secretary, but most importantly, I'm the Member of Parliament for Leicester South, which is where we are in this fabulous part of Leicester.
Of course, John, we've spent the whole month trying to explain to everybody the demographic, the regional constituencies, Leicester South, Leicester East, Leicester West, and I'm tired now, John. I'm tired. I've been doing that all week, last week and the week before, and each week we've had a different topic. Mm-hmm. So throughout the week we discussed community partnerships this week. Yep. How important is that, John?
Well, for me as the MP for Leicester South, and if you live in Highfields or this part of Evington or Stonygate or St Matthews, St Peter's, I'm your Member of Parliament, and I think the key thing to ensure that I am the best Member of Parliament I can be for the people here is that I am meeting people, listening to people, taking on board the points that people make. You can't agree with everybody all of the time. That's not possible, but you do your best to represent people.
So today John is here to meet all of you throughout the city, not only Leicester South. Mm-hmm. We are now on the last day of Ramadan. Tomorrow is the last day, John, right?
Yeah.
And Monday will be Eid.
Yeah, and I want to say, first of all, Ramadan Kareem to everyone who has been observing this important time of year, and ahead of Monday, Eid Mubarak from me as well. So, and I know people are already getting ready for Eid. I know people are preparing the celebrations, getting together the treats and the goodies, and I know the children are very excited. And I know it's going to be a really important Eid, because the previous Eids after Ramadan these last 2 years have been difficult and limited because of the pandemic. And then finally this time I think we can come together as one community together and celebrate Eid.
Now, John, awareness is so important. Throughout the month we're asking all our listeners, do you know your councillor? Do you know how the council is set up? Do you know your MP? Mm-hmm. And the response was not so good, John.
Really?
It was dismal.
What did they say?
You'd ask them questions and they're scratching their heads. They don't know. Awareness is extreme low.
Right.
Right? So we were also talking about Once Upon a Time 50 years ago. Are you familiar with that?
What, 50 years ago?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time 50 years ago.
I wasn't born 50 years ago.
Well, there you are. This is another problem we're having, that people have forgotten history. 1972, when the Ugandan Asians were expelled to come into England.
And we are having the anniversary events. We're going to have anniversary events in Leicester, aren't we?
We are having them throughout the country, John.
Yeah,
throughout the country.
Yeah, but Leicester was one of the big destinations, and we're very proud of that.
It was a go-to place.
Yeah.
But you're proud of it today. But did you know, John, that the government at that time printed in the newspapers in Uganda to say, "Don't come to Leicester. You're not welcome here. We don't want you."
No, right? I know. That's a stain on our history. And look, the reason why I love Leicester, and Leicester is one of the strongest cities in this country, if not the world, is because of the contribution of the people who've come to to Leicester from different parts of the world over many, many years, and we should be proud of that.
So we are trying very hard now, John. Throughout the month, we have been working extremely hard to create those meaningful consultations within communities. We have communities within communities, and we have outside of the city, where all the areas you've just mentioned, where people are completely disconnected. Like if you are in Leicester South, your constituents are disconnected from Ayers Monsell, Saffron Lane, Beaumont Leys, New Parks. So we've created these bubbles all over the city, John.
Well, Leicester South covers Saffron and Ayers Monsell and Ayleston, and I think it's really important that we link with communities. And over my years as a Member of Parliament, I've organised events in Saffron and Ayers Monsell and There have been times when FMO, for example, have come to those events. Actually, at the Ayers Monsell Community Centre now, there are Friday prayers taking place. There is a growing Muslim community down Ayers Monsell and Saffron, and they're using the community facilities to host prayers on a
John,
Friday.
having an event and cross-networking to have a cup of tea and a samosa or a sandwich is not a long-term solution. We need solutions whereby these communities are interactive with each other. They connect with each other to an extent where we don't create an us and them situation, John. And that's what's been happening here from all the people that we are talking to. We've reached out to Beaumont Leys, we've reached out to New Parks, and we talk to these people, we sit with them and listen to them, John.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, is consultations. Hear their side of the story. They've not been here to Evington Road, and we've not been there to New Parks.
Yeah. And that is that what you're doing through the teams? And
that's right. We're doing that with the radio, with the teams, and we put together 12 organizations across the diversities. How many diversities we have in Leicester, John?
Oh,
come on, give me a figure.
there must hundreds. It depends what you define as a diversity.
No. Diversity, let's say the A to Z of the world population or countries, A to Z. You have A for Afghanistan and so on, right to the end, to Z.
You're Z. But
no, Z is Zambia. Z is Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. We have people from across the world here. I was talking to somebody from Zimbabwe just a couple of weeks ago here in Leicester, and actually the facility that your organisation teams runs in the city centre is a brilliant facility.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I've been to it a good few times over the years now. It's a beautiful building, what you've done to it in that part of town, but it's a wonderful facility to bring different communities together. Because yes, we must celebrate the diversity, whether that's our religious diversity, and isn't it wonderful that we've had Ramadan falling at the same time as Easter, falling at the same time as Passover, falling at a similar time to Vaisakhi, and we've got our Vaisakhi celebrations in Leicester tomorrow. But as well as our religious diversity, we have our national diversity of our different countries, our different nationalities. And I think the centre in the city that you have been a big part of is a brilliant place where we could bring different communities together and celebrate this diversity, and also celebrate that we have a lot in common with each other.
What we've discovered here during this Ramadan, John, is that we have so many community organizations. And John, I just don't want to tell you what would happen if they were not here, they were not in existence. The amount of work that they do in the community, if you look at just Shamma Women's Centre.
Oh, brilliant.
Right? Then you look at, have you heard of the Riders of Sham?
I've not heard of that organisation. Where are they based?
John, you're missing out. Where have we been? Have you been in Leicester?
Where are they?
Riders of Sham is a dynamic group of cyclists, John.
Wow.
And what do? John, they have raised £1 million.
For
a third of that they put back into the community, to the hospice, to Rainbows, and to Leicester Homeless. And they raise money. Last year we challenged them to say, you got to bid 275,000, which we raised at the radio with all our associates for the Leicester Children's Hospital. And they smashed it, John. They went and raised 300,000 plus.
Wow.
Right? So we have these unsung heroes, John, that even you don't know about. So you're going to go on a journey with me, John.
We're going to cycle?
No, we're going to go around the whole city and get to know every single asset that we have in the city.
Absolutely, let's do that.
Right?
Let's do that.
If we don't know, John, we're going to get stuffed.
No, you're absolutely right, because they are brilliant organisations like Sharma and others. And I've done a lot with Islamic Relief here in the city. I know they're a national organisation, but there's a lot of followers and a lot of supporters of Islamic Relief in the city. But there are other great charity groups. Yesterday, I did a run around Victoria Park with the Leicester Action for Mental Health project, because a lot of people suffer from mental health problems, particularly in the lockdowns. A lot of people were lonely, anxiety, and sometimes in Leicester there are a lot of people who've got mental health problems, but they feel there is a stigma. They feel worried about speaking out or getting help. So I was supporting Leicester Action for Mental Health project yesterday by doing a 5k run around Victoria Park but there's many other organisations
I don't
like
think
that.
you've recovered from it yet, John. And now you're going to have an iftar with us
Well,
today.
I hope there's some good iftar, good food at the iftar.
There will be, for sure. So, John, 12 organisation, maybe 10, linked up vertically with all the business community. So you see all these businesses on Evington Road,
Yeah.
right? Were you aware about all these businesses on Evington Road, that there's up to 8 of them that had their flagships in Evington Road and they are now national? Were you aware of that, John?
I've known there's been great businesses in Evington Road. Very proud of Evington Road. And
Now,
I know people come from all over.
Now tell me if you know a business on Evington Road that has gone global.
It's gone global.
Yeah. I'm not talking local, national, global. Give me a name that comes off the top of your head.
Well,
How well do you know Evington Road?
have they, I mean, we've got, I don't know if they've gone global, but I know, Chaiwala's doing well. Oodles Noodles is doing well. Have they gone global?
Well, Chaiwala has gone global,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that fantastic? Are we not proud of these boys?
Absolutely. And I
Right.
love Chaiwala.
And they've gone to Canada, they've gone to Dubai, and now they're heading to New York. Imagine 3 young lads from Leicester, Evington Road, in New York, in Canada. Isn't that fantastic?
That's absolutely amazing.
Now that's a testament to the people of the city, isn't it?
It's absolutely. And I love Chaiwala. I often go for masala tea and get some samosas there when I'm going out and about. Not just the one here, but also the one over in Highfield as well. I think there's
So
one at
anyone
City Centre.
listening at Chaiwala, please arrange 2 samosas free of charge for John today, right? Or if you must charge him, then we'll send the bill to Parliament. Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, the fantastic things are happening, but awareness is very important, John. Absolutely important. These 8 shops that have gone national just from this road, Evington Road. Evington Road is a go-to place where people come from outside the city to have a look at why these are so successful, these shops.
Yeah, yeah. When we get people coming here from Bradford, from Batley, from Birmingham, from London, so many people come to this road because it's famous. It's famous across the country.
So, John, other things, we've got very little time now that I want to touch upon. I can only give you the bullets now because we don't have enough time to go into more discussion on them. Inclusion, John, EDI. We did a program on EDI. Inclusion is a big problem. We need to work on this together, John. We need some meaningful discussions, consultations with each other to bring awareness on the table. The issues of Islamophobia, hate crime, they are escalating, John.
They are escalating, and I'm very worried about it. And I do not want to raise alarms because we need to investigate it. But there was very concerning reports about an incident outside Jami Mosque last night. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have, yeah.
I know the police are looking into it. That actually falls into the Leicester East constituency, not my constituency, although it's just on the border. I'm deeply concerned, and I'll be making representations to the police to find out what's happening.
So, John, this is worldwide. Extreme governments that don't listen to the people of their city or their country, right? And then you have the weak governments who are standing in opposition, who fail to address these issues attentively. Then we got a problem. Then what happens? The electorate, he goes back to same old.
Yeah, and I think there's a real problem. I think I'm really worried that we're seeing again a rise in Islamophobia. I've often spoken out against Islamophobia these last 10 years that I've been the MP, and you're seeing more incidents of it. I'm really, really concerned about these reports from last night outside Jami Mosque. Although we can't jump to conclusions, we've got to let the police look into it. And I also think that across the world, you are seeing again persecution. You're seeing, I've for many years. In fact, it was you guys who raised it with me 10 years ago. I've spoken out and campaigned for the human rights of the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, for example. But we know that we're seeing other issues. I'm very concerned about the treatment of minority communities in India, and I will be raising those concerns as well. I know a lot of people in the community.
So, John, how about live on radio? We are working now, right, John?
Yeah.
We're not just doing radio, we are working.
Yeah.
How about we create a forum, we call it Action Against Islamophobia, and we do something about it, and we get all our MPs in the city to collectively sit there and work on it collectively. This can't be done, John, by one single man's voice.
I would love to do that. And
Right.
let's have a forum against Islamophobia and work together on it.
So everyone listening right now, if you want to join this forum, then get in touch, because we can't do this alone. We have to do it collectively, and we will do it with all the diverse communities. Now, we work very hard throughout the month to create these 12 diverse organizations from the Muslim community, from the Sikh community, from the Bangladesh community, and from all the English community centers who are doing excellent work. And the challenge now is to get business, local businesses, to feed into them on a yearly basis with funding.
Yeah.
And we do cross-networking, where if somebody is in Evington, a business there will support an organization in New Parks.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful, John?
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it. We need to do it.
So we got to do it. You got to come and visit these places, and you got to endorse these ideas, and we make them happen. So if we're going to build stronger communities, this is what we have to do. We have to do cross-networking with each other.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely spot on. And
Yeah.
let's make it
Now,
happen.
John, are you familiar with OPM?
With opium?
Yeah, OPM. The letter O,
Oh.
the letter P, the letter M.
Okay,
Right.
in what context?
Now, you've seen that. Your colleagues in government, your friends, they're not your party, but they've just 17 billion pounds gone, disappeared
In fraud?
in the loans, the bounce back loans, and all the loans that were dished out in pandemic. 17 billion, John. That is called OPM. You know what that is?
What?
Other people's money, John.
It is other people's money.
Yeah, it's your money as well.
And
you,
yeah.
you pay tax, John?
Yeah.
It's your money.
Well, the tax
It's my money. It's his money. It's everybody's money.
And Rishi Sunak's just put the tax up.
Yeah, now, then the utilities have gone up. The fuel bills have gone up, John. And 17 billion, if that was back into the community, what would happen, John?
Well, we could do that to help people in Leicester. We could do it to bring people's bills down. Or we could do it to fund...
Now, you take
services.
this OPM into Parliament and let them know, John. Stand there tall and you shout and scream and tell them what is happening here, right?
Yeah.
How can we squander this money?
Yeah.
I want to cry, John. It's absurd.
And you know something? Businesses were warning that there would be fraud, and Rishi Sunak ignored it. I remember businesses here in Leicester saying, this is rife, this is open for fraud, this system. And Rishi Sunak ignored the warnings.
That's right. Now, you see, there's a message there. How do you get involved in the project to do you contact? Which project? Please let me know. Sister, let us know which project you're referring to. We're talking about the 12 different organizations to work together. And we're calling that project Diversity in Action.
Excellent.
Yes?
Excellent.
How's that? Or even better, one of our partners who joined us, she came out with an even better one. She said, diversity is humanity. Which one, John, is better?
Oh, that's a brilliant one. Diversity is humanity.
Well,
I like
John has made a decision here. We've put him, he's a POP. Yes?
that. Yeah.
And he's made a decision, right?
Yeah. Diversity is humanity. That's beautiful.
A POP is a person of power, John.
Ah.
That is you. Yeah?
Okay.
You like that title?
I prefer POP, person of principle.
That's even better, John.
Yeah.
That's even better. I'll ask our producer to add that on the list. That is exclusive to John, person of principle. But be careful, John, because things you say here, you'll be held to account.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah? And you don't want to put your foot in it if you don't stick to that principle. So diversity is humanity. If you want to join, please contact us here at the radio and we'll get you on board and we'll all work together. And we need all different diversities to get involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This Leicester has to be the beacon where other cities are going to follow. Now, later on, John, we're going to sit on that table and there'll be a few more questions asked where you will also be answering them, and we will then see how well do our people know our city, right? There's lots of things here to learn. Every day is a day of learning. Yes?
That's such an important message, because I believe very strongly in learning and education, and you can learn something new every day. And governments can come along and they can take away all kinds of things from you. They can take away your money, they can take away your house, they can put you in a prison, they can lock you up, but they can never take away what you've learnt, because that's in your mind, and you must always learn something new every day.
Well, John has just told us all that your knowledge is your power. That will be your education, and then that will be your wisdom, which you will share with everybody else in the community.
Absolutely.
And that's what we have to do. Now, John, some beautiful closing remarks from you before we get ready.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Iftar. And I want to say to everybody that Ramadan Mubarak for observing this important time in the Islamic calendar, which is coming to an end tomorrow, we think. Eid Mubarak to the families across Leicester who are looking forward to celebrating together with their families. It's been such a tough 2 years because of the pandemic, but this is going to be so important that families can come together. And yes, this is about faith, but it's also about community and it's also about family. So Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to all of you, right? We'll be back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jazakallah khair for listening.